Welcome back to Wizard Supercoach. Just going to review the game from tonight and go through my planned trades. I haven't done them yet. Obviously, it didn't involve anyone from tonight, unfortunately. If you know, you know. This is probably going to be more of a rant video and letting off steam, which I don't normally do, but pretty pissed off after watching that game. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. There were so many things in it that annoyed me. May even have to put a language warning in this one or whatever, in case I get too worked up. But yeah, I can see the funny side of it. Yeah, so I guess I'll start with the umpires. So just in a general sense, like this isn't Supercoach related, but I'm absolutely sick to death of seeing games where the umpires are clearly favouring one team. And Collingwood absolutely got like the run with the umpires tonight. Brisbane got shafted, and I didn't give a shit who won this game. You know, I'm not particularly fond of Brisbane. I don't really have anything against Collingwood. Yeah, it didn't affect me in a Supercoach sense, so I didn't give a shit about that kind of thing. But yeah, it's not good for the game. Seeing this week in, week out makes the neutral games hard to watch, I think. And yeah, everyone can laugh, but we've all been on the end of it when it's happening, and it stands out like dog's balls. I think anyone who is still denying that it happens in the game has just got their head in the sand. Now, from a Supercoach sense, things couldn't have got off to a worse start for me, I think, for the week. Yeah, I'll go through the players, I guess. Yeah, Lachie Neale had a pretty good bounce back, so 113. I don't know. I think he has kind of fallen off this year. I don't know if we're going to see those like really high ceiling games anymore. But yeah, I don't own him, so, and I don't think I will. I don't think I'm going to get him unless he really becomes cheap. Just too much going on this year with taggers and stuff. I think kind of trying to avoid those players that are like the first midfielder that do cop those tags, because obviously more teams are tagging this year. Answorth 109, not relevant. Yeah, Ashcroft 89. So this was good. He's going to make more money. Can keep him for a long time, I think, if he keeps scoring like this. He's found his feet pretty quickly after a bit of a slow start. He was on, I reckon he finished on like 94 or something. He got scaled down along with, I think, every other one of my players that I had in the game, which pissed me off like everything else. But yeah, really good from Ashcroft. Now he's got the forward DPP, so the one positive I would say from tonight. Yeah, Wilmot and Jasper Fletcher, they look like they're taking a bit of Zorko's ball there, coming out of defence, which I can understand why a team would do that. Like, if you diversify your options coming out of there, you can't, you're not predictable. You can't just be shut down by, tagging one player. If you stop Zorko, it's not like, I guess even the Giants now, they've done the same thing. Like last year, it was just Whitfield, get the ball to Whitfield. If you could stop that, it'd go a long way to stopping them. But now they're using Ash and a couple others, so it's pretty smart, I guess. But it does hurt in terms of Supercoach if you own those players. Dunkley, another down game. What did he get? 80s 2 weeks in a row. So, and they're the 2 week. I bought him in 2 weeks ago, so it's my fault. I'm sorry for all you people that own him or started him. The worst thing is I bought him in for his ultra consistency. You can always rely on him for about a 110, 115. It's been anything but. So yeah, that was very frustrating. I don't know what's going on. Like, I know Brisbane had the short turnaround, but last week he just looked pretty lethargic as well. So I think Brisbane, even though I think they're 5-1, the way they've been playing is not very good. They've kind of been playing like one good quarter a game, which is why I think they've had the comeback in almost every game or every game. And then yeah, tonight they come up against, obviously, I'd say Collingwood are a contender, and yeah, they fell way short. So yeah, it's frustrating. I think these players though, like Dunkley and Zorko and that, they'll bounce back. But yeah, it could take a little while for Brisbane to reset. McCluggage back down to earth, so he was like the number one ranked player in the whole thing up to this point, I reckon. But Yeah, an 80. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you did get him an 80, but yeah, it's not great. He'll come down in price now, so no one ever saw that coming, though. I don't think anyone at all saw him ranked number one after 5 rounds. And then, yeah, Zorko, he was just, frankly, he just acted like the dickhead that he is tonight. Like, we know he's a dickhead on and off the field. When you own him, you kind of, I guess you overlook that a bit and you want him to do well out there. But, yeah, he acted like a dick. So, yeah, got scaled down a lot as well. So that 70 really hurts. He's going to bleed cash after, just like Dunkley last week. I think Zorko got like an 80 or something from memory. That one really hurts. And the funny thing is, it's got nothing to do with his age. Like, yeah, you would think that's the biggest risk with him, but he's just, I don't know, it's like his role's changed or something. He's not getting all that cheap ball anymore. Oh, this one, I guess, was another positive. I don't own Will Ashcroft, and to see him go 43, sorry to the owners out there, like, you know, the people in the comments and stuff. I want to see you do well, but I also want to get a good ranking. So, especially on a night like tonight where things don't go my way, it is nice, I got to admit, to see him shit the bed like that. And where was he? There was another one for Brisbane. Oh, Tunstall for Brisbane. So I think he's a rookie, like a rookie price. I know he's played before and stuff, other seasons, but yeah, and 88. That's interesting because we got a bit of a shortage of rookies at the moment. I don't know what his job security's like. It's probably not great. I'm sure he'll shed some light on that one, but yeah, that's good for in 2 weeks' time. He'll be on the bubble. If he can stay in the team that long, that is. And then we get to Nick Daicos. So a 172. Now, yeah, I took the sensible route and I held on to Roberts. As the only way I could have got Daicos was to get rid of Roberts. And, yeah, being of the strategy this year that it's a marathon, not a sprint, I decided to hold Roberts and go the sensible option, which I was always going to do anyway. And yeah, I didn't expect this. I knew Daicos would probably score pretty well, but it got out of hand there in the end. I don't know why Brisbane didn't really do anything about him earlier. I think they sent Berry to him in the last quarter or whatever, but it was maybe in the third. But it wasn't really a hard tag or anything. Not really a good matchup for Daicos either, I think. But yeah, I mean, he played really good, but yeah, it hurts. It's going to hurt this week. I plan to get him next week. That was always the plan anyway, but oh geez, like, yeah, hard watch. Ned Long, so shout out to Supercoach God. He was all over Ned Long all week. I think he has been for a few weeks, but yeah, he repaid the faith there. He's only 280k, and he's backed up that 115 or whatever he got with a 96. So yeah, well done there, because I know a lot of people were taking the piss out of Supercoach God, but that just, you know, I know it's only 1 week, but I like it. Like, it shows that you should always go with your gut feel and just stick to your guns, even if the pack is ridiculing you, because at the end of the day, that's the only way to get ahead of the pack and break away from it. Like, they're all gonna stick together and stuff, and yeah, those who are brave enough, they'll be the ones that get away. Side bottom, he's going under the radar a bit, so 94. I think that's like, I think he had like 4 tons or something before that as well. So I've got him in draft. He's been real helpful in the flex spot. I'm not saying to pick him or anything, but yeah, he's definitely having a good year considering that he's pretty old. Oh, so my pod is Darcy Cameron, and I was loving it. So this is where most of my anger comes from, to be honest. Quarter time, Cameron was on, I think, 51 points. Or maybe even 50. I think it was 53 at quarter time. I thought, wow, we're in for a big one here, because I know he went 144 on Big O last year. For what it's worth as well, I don't think Big O is as restrictive as he used to be. Nowhere near. But yeah, so Cameron on 53 at quarter time. And then he randomly got scaled down 6 points at the break. And I mean, he had a massive quarter. Like, he was taking intercept marks. He was hit outs to advantage, clearances, whatever. Like, it was really good. And then it seemed like in the second, so after he got scaled down in the second quarter, he obviously was a bit quieter, but he was still doing stuff. But he didn't have any free kicks against. He didn't have any clangers. And it seemed like every time he'd get a point from like a hit out or whatever, the point within a minute would just like disappear. And his score started to tick down. So by the time it got to half time, because he eventually got himself up to like 60 points. By the time it got to half time, he ticked down. I reckon he lost 8 points this time at half time. So I couldn't understand it. By this time, I was fuming because, you know, last week you get like a marriage type and they get a shitload of points in the first quarter just for some cheap kick-ins. And then because they scored them in the first quarter through scaling, like their score just keeps rising for the rest of the game because, you know, they got them early. Cameron did all that, which was actually really good in the first quarter, yet his score just kept dropping all game. And so then in the third quarter, again, he was a bit quiet, and he didn't even get like a free kick or a clanger until at least halfway through the third quarter. And I actually wrote it out in Notepad, like point by point, where it kept going up and down, and it was just ridiculous to watch. And this happened in round one as well, which, I don't know, like I'm not saying I believe it, but I've seen quite a few people out there. They're saying that the higher owned players score better comparatively because Supercoach or Herald Sun are trying to keep people engaged. So, you know, Cameron's a pod, and this is the second time I've noticed it's happened to him. It's hard to keep enthused with a game when you don't know exactly how the scores work. They can do anything they want with the scaling and stuff like that. And you can tell me that this is copium or salt or whatever, but it is hard. Like, none of us know exactly how it works. They can they can just make changes, however. And I was seeing it, like, why was he getting scaled down so heavily? Because, as I said, his first quarter was huge. And I admit he was quiet after that, but geez, when everything else is going on, that's the last thing you want to happen. And then to make it worse, dickhead McRae, halfway through the last quarter, when the game's done and dusty, sits Cameron on the bench for the whole second half of the last quarter. So he ended on a 91, and then, of course, he got scaled down. So what did he even end on? A 90. So he got scaled down a point after the game as well. I was fuming because in the last quarter, he actually started to score quite well again. Definitely had the better of Omac, I would say, except for the 2 goals. But yeah, I don't know. Like, as I said, I'm not saying I believe the conspiracy, but I can definitely see why people are suggesting it. Especially when you pair it with the fact that Supercoach engagement, like the player numbers are dropping off year after year, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that, but I'm sure I heard that in the preseason. So, you know, there is a little bit of credibility there, but it's just frustrating, especially when it is a pod. So, anyway, I'll move on from that, or I'm just going to get real pissed off, like to the point of no return, or I'll just delete team. But yeah, not much else here in terms of relevance for Collingwood. Perryman back to a 32. Geez. Who's going to come in? So Darcy Moore's probably going to miss next week, you'd think, with a concussion after that. So I wonder who's going to come in for him. I guess it doesn't matter. Whoever it is, they'll probably be in for a week and then out again. But we are getting desperate for rookies. It seems like the sub is claiming them, or they're just getting dropped or whatever. There's some weird shit going on right now in the AFL. You look at West Coast, you know, they're clearly in a rebuild, and yet the coach is just doing weird shit, like dropping Clay Hall and stuff. And I don't own him, so I don't care in terms of Supercoach there. But it's actually good for me because I don't own him. But it just doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on. And then, you know, players will have a good game, a rookie will have a good game, and then for no reason at all, they just become sub, and they're pretty much cooked in terms of cash gen after that. So with that in mind, with my trades, that's why I'm 100%. I know 2 of them that I'm making. Now I'm waiting till tomorrow night because there's a rumor going around that Gross is going to be the sub, which I would just lose my shit if that's true. Like, there is no reason why any good coach would do that. He was great last week, I thought, and yeah, there's the whole Tim Kelly thing that plays into it, but it's probably not true. But that's why I'm waiting anyway. So gotta get some cash gen going again. Like, I'm happy with where my team is at. But yeah, there is cash gen problems this year all over, and I don't think anyone's been able to avoid it totally. So I want to bring Cleary in. I think Davidson will score well this week and then reset his cash gen. So yeah, I think he's got a bit more to make. What's he? 293, break even of 60. Sorry if you can hear my dog, by the way. Yeah, so yeah, I reckon I'll hold on to Davidson again. Like, trying to do the sensible thing, the long term thing. Just can see that paid off so well for me tonight with the not getting Daicos via Roberts. But anyway, so I reckon it will be Connor Stone will go for Cleary, because I reckon Cleary is a pretty good shout there. He's scoring well, should make money. Read up a bit, and I think his job security is pretty good. I mean, he's playing well, and I think Cox is a pretty good coach. He doesn't strike me as being, dumb or doing radical things like the other coaches. So yeah, Cleary's been performing. I think he'll keep his spot. It's as simple as that. And then the other one I want to bring in, obviously, is Gross, as long as he's not the sub. So yeah, Henderson will have to go out. Keeping Campriali just purely as the loop at the moment. Plus, he's made no money, so he's kind of like, there's no point getting rid of him yet. I think there's more merit in keeping like a dead loophole player like this than just trading him off for nothing. Because I think that the points that you'll gain by being able to run either a loophole here with the rookies, or at least having it for your captain, vice captain loophole, I think you're going to gain more off of that than if I was to trade Campriali out for another rookie. People probably disagree with that, but there's all different strategies for playing the game, as we know. But yeah, it'll probably be Henderson, I think. I'll hold Nevitt, but it's kind of annoying because there's the Monday games. We're not going to know if he's going to be sub or whatever till Monday. It kind of screws everything up there, so I'll just hold him again. Yeah, it'd be Henderson that goes, because but he's got the break even of 55 now. Even if he gets back in the team, it's going to be pretty hard to restart his cash gen. And even if he does, that's another few weeks on top before he actually makes what we need. So I think he's just gone, and Gross hopefully can do it a lot quicker. But yeah, apart from that, I'm still pretty happy with the team. Just tonight just really let me down. Like, I don't know. You can do all the research and all that, and it just never pans out. I don't know. It just feels like every time, it doesn't matter who you pick, they go to shit. And if there's a player with no logic behind them that people will pick, they'll just go nuts. I know it's not actually like that, but that's how it feels. So yeah, that's the trades. If things are going too bad for me this round, maybe I will punt Roberts and try and bring in like someone better, or maybe take a punt somewhere else. I can get, if I get rid of Davidson, I can get Simpkin, who I've got my eye on. I think that he's going to do well. He's got a good role and stuff, but my worry with him is just soft tissue injury. He's a bit prone, so yeah. Now Wardlaw's back in the team. I don't know if that affects his CBAs, because he does need them to score. He doesn't need heaps, like 30% or whatever, but yeah, he does need them. So hopefully Wardlaw doesn't kick Simpkin out if I do end up getting him, and it's Sheasel that makes way. Sheasel goes to halfback. That would be perfect, but probably not going to happen. Clarko likes to mess around with things. Yeah, this was meant to be a short video. It's not. Just one last thing as well before I go, because I'm in the mood to rant here. I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but why does it always seem like and this is not aimed at anyone in particular at all, but it's like you get to Monday and you think you've had like a pretty good week in Supercoach or whatever, and then you go and watch your favourite YouTubers and they'll do their round review, and they'll start saying it's a terrible week, and they got like a 7 and a 9 and a 20 on the field, and their captain scored 50 or something. And they're saying it's like, you know, season over type shit. And then you see that they've actually outscored you by 100 and they've gotten like, I don't know, what feels like 2,800 points or something. Oh man, it does my head in, honestly. Like, and that's not aimed at anyone at all. It's just, it's crazy how the game works. Like, you can look at your team. Like, last week my team looked good. I had like, I think my lowest points were like 80 or something like that on the field, and then just good spread everywhere. And then you can look at other teams and they've got these horrendous scores on the field, and yet they just somehow they manage to outscore you by a mile. It's, this game drives me nuts, as you can probably tell. Like, it's just, I know it's only a game and stuff, but you put in all the research and all that, and yeah, it's just, it's frustrating when you do that and it feels like there's very little return, or you get no bloody luck. So yeah, tonight's got me pissed off, as you can tell. We'll get there at some point in the season, but yeah, let me know how you went tonight in the comments, and tell me, I guess, to pull my head in and stop being a dickhead. But yeah, hopefully the rest of the round is better, and yeah, hopefully it's better for everyone else too, except for you bloody Daicos owners. Like, seriously. Anyway, yeah, I'll make another video, maybe even tomorrow night when I finalize my trades and stuff. But yeah, if I don't, it'll be in the round review, and I'm hoping to actually over the Easter period or whatever, even get back into like some of those research videos that I was doing in the preseason, and see where some of the predictions have landed, and did some of them lead us astray and stuff like that. And yeah, just get a general state of play after 6 rounds. I think it's a pretty good sample size. So yeah, I'm done ranting. I'll see you in the next one.